Memories affect our personality and enable us to manage our daily lives. Memory loss can lead to a crisis of identity and feelings of helplessness. Normally, simple memory aids such as post-its or wall calendars can be used to cope with normal forgetfulness and to remind us of upcoming events. However, when individuals experience mild cognitive impairment, MCI, age-related forgetfulness, or more debilitating conditions such as dementia, normal memory aids like wall calendars no longer suffice. Memory loss makes it more difficult for individuals to manage daily life independently. Discussions with experts on this topic have revealed that people with dementia or mild cognitive impairment lose their sense for time and forget important appointments. As a result, they often go to their calendars to check for upcoming events. However, this information is often quickly forgotten once the calendar is out of sight. This leads to stress and discontent in the affected person, which in turn has a negative influence on the progression of the illness. How can we remain self-reliant when our cognitive faculties deteriorate? MEMO, tangible appointments. MEMO expands the design of the normal wall calendar through the integration of small detachable magnetic objects. Each object represents a particular appointment. They can be removed from the calendar and carried anywhere with you. These portable objects trigger a multi-sensory memory process in advance of an appointment, even when the calendar is not close by. The MEMO objects are made of materials that the user associates with people they see regularly. Playing music forms another part of the multisensory memory process. The music chosen will also be associated with a particular person. This allows the MEMO objects to become more easily linked with specific meanings. Both should have a personal association for the user in order to support thought processes in the brain. Light and vibration are additional signals that form part of the multisensory memory process. The process has three separate phases: the initialization phase, the preparation phase, and the departure phase, at which point one should leave for the appointment in order to arrive on time. The music stops automatically on leaving the home in order not to draw attention. Short pauses serve to prevent the user from growing accustomed to the sensory signals. Even people with impaired hearing will perceive a change in the acoustic atmosphere. The duration of the intervals decreases incrementally in order to increase urgency. Timing, such as when the process begins, the length of the phases, and the duration of the intervals, can all be individually adapted. The user can do this together with a relative or carer. New appointments can be added to MEMO in different ways. One way to add events independently is to attach post-its to the storage area of the calendar and then to enter the event. This option is only suitable for those who do not suffer from physical disabilities. Issuing appointment cards is no longer necessary because the next appointment can be sent directly to the digital overview of the calendar. Another way to add events to the calendar automatically is by telephone if the device is equipped with voice recognition software. Once a personal appointment with date, time, and location is detected, the appointment is automatically sent to MEMO. The way appointments are entered to the calendar can be individually adapted to suit the needs of the user. In all cases, a circle in the colour of the material appears on the calendar if the appointment is scheduled to take place within that week. The MEMO objects can then be placed on the highlighted area. In all three instances, the designated supervisor will always be informed of the new appointment. However, if one is given an appointment card by a doctor or at some other occasion, it can be placed directly on the corresponding day of the calendar. If the appointment is not scheduled for that week, then it can be placed on the calendar's storage space. The appointment will then be added to the calendar by the person in charge of MEMO. Each appointment will be voice recorded and entered into the calendar by the main person in charge of it. The voice recordings help to create a personalised reference, which helps the individual to internalise the appointment. Ideally, the appointments for the upcoming week are prepared together with a carer on a Sunday as part of a weekly ritual. The upcoming appointments are synchronized between the calendar and the MEMO objects. Circles in the colour of the MEMO objects appear on the e-ink display of the calendar, where the MEMO objects can be easily placed. What is a day with MEMO like? Susan, who has an early form of dementia, passes her calendar in the morning and removes the MEMO objects for her upcoming appointments. She attaches the first appointment to a specially designed magnetic necklace that places the MEMO object constantly in her line of vision. She puts the other objects in her trouser pocket. Magnetic brooch elements are also an option, as are magnetic keyrings. Susan sits down to have breakfast and forgets all about her appointments. 1 hour before her first appointment, the relevant MEMO object begins the first phase of the memory ritual, the initialization phase. She turns the object and a recording of her son's voice telling her about the scheduled appointment is played.
7 a.m. Have a nice day, Mom.
She continues with her breakfast because she knows this is the first phase of the memory process. After a while, the memory process gets on her nerves and she presses the MEMO object. The signals stop for a predetermined period of time. After some time has passed, the second phase of the memory process begins, the preparation phase. Susan needs to get ready for her appointment. There is another MEMO object in the bathroom that is also associated with her doctor. It recognizes her and becomes part of the memory process. People with cognitive impairment will often forget to return the MEMO objects to the calendar. They will tend to leave them in various places and forget about them. However, this is not a problem. It can strengthen the individual's experience of episodic memory processes within his or her own home, thereby supporting the individual's capacity to remember. In order to prevent a chaotic situation developing, the person in charge of managing the calendar must locate and collect all of the MEMO objects during the weekly ritual of preparing the calendar for the coming week. The third phase of the memory process begins, the departure phase. Susan realizes that it's time to leave and begins to get dressed. The music that accompanies the memory process stops automatically as she leaves her home. If Susan is unsure about where she is supposed to be going, she can turn the MEMO object again, and the recording of her son's voice telling her about the appointment will be played. Susan arrives at the doctor's. She's very pleased that she has managed to arrive on time for her appointment and without any help from others. After the appointment, Susan takes the MEMO object from her necklace. She can either place it on the storage space of the calendar where the objects are charged through induction, or she might forget to return the object to the calendar and leave it lying somewhere in her home. When the appointment is over, it will disappear from the calendar. After the other appointments are over and the day has come to an end, the calendar day dims and the next calendar day illuminates. During the latter stages of dementia, people will find it difficult to recognize and use the MEMO objects as memory aids. However, the active participation and the multisensory memory rituals can nonetheless have a positive effect. Appointments outside the home will decrease, and activities such as taking medication and having meals will take precedence. During these times, MEMO can impart a rhythm to daily life. The repetition of stimuli through various sensory organs aids the internalization of memory rituals and events. This awareness of events can be enhanced through the repetition of activities with MEMO objects, such as placing and removing them from the calendar. Events do not remain abstract. Instead, they are experienced and understood on different levels. The MEMO objects give the individual more independence in the absence of a carer. The carer, on the other hand, can feel more confident that appointments will be kept as a result of the shared rituals. In addition to the development of design prototypes for the MEMO objects, a technical prototype has been developed in conjunction with Arduino. This technical prototype simulates the multisensory memory process. Both have already been tested. MEMO, tangible appointments.